video is going to be another reading vlog. I love how I never filmed reading vlogs before this, and now I'm addicted to filming them. I love filming reading vlogs so much. So this reading vlog is just going to be a mood reading vlog, but these are also books that are on my December TBR anyway, but I'm actually starting this mood read in November because I kind of just really want to read some books that I've been wanting to get to for a while. And also, again, they're all on my December TBR or just books that I didn't get to in November that I really still wanted to read in November. So I have the TBR here. We have quite a few physical books. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading over the next couple of weeks, probably the next 2 weeks. We do have a Kindle read as well. So it's actually going to be the first book that I read for this video because I really do want to binge this tomorrow, and I think I'm just going to be able to binge this in a day. And I really just want to read a thriller because, again, I haven't read a thriller in quite a while. And also, I have been wanting to read this book literally all year. And it's not like it's going to take any time for me to read this. I'm just trying to up the brightness because I was just in my friend's car and I did start the book. But let me just pull up the cover. It says 11 hours, but it's not going to take me that long because, again, I could barely read any of it in his car. So, because we were obviously bopping to music and stuff. So the first book I'm going to read is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This is probably the biggest thriller besides The Housemaid and stuff like that, but this one I feel like is the big kahuna. I feel like that I still have not gotten to, and I'm dying to read this. Basically, this is about a woman that murders her husband, and after she commits the murder, she won't speak. And that's why it's called The Silent Patient. And basically it's from her perspective, in her head. And also the investigator that is investigating the case. I'm just surprised why the chapter is highlighted. That's weird. It's also going back and forth between him investigating the case still and basically, I guess, to get her to talk again and why she murdered her husband, because you are able to take you don't have to speak to the cops if you don't want to. They have to question other people then if you refuse to speak to anyone. That is actually a right that you have. So it's so crazy because there's some cases where that's actually happened in real life. It doesn't happen often, but when it does, it's crazy. So I'm super intrigued to read that. Again, I will probably binge that tomorrow because I've been reading a lot of romantasy lately. And the last 4 books I read was romantasy. I just need a little bit of a palate cleanser in between. And I'm also going to read this book probably Tuesday and Wednesday, I'm not sure, or I'll just start the next romantasy that's on my TBR and just start this book Thursday instead. And that is Recipe for a Charmed Life by Rachel Linden. I did read the synopsis of this in my December TBR video, but also I'm going to be reading this in November. So you guys will see my TBR first before I post this because this is definitely going to go up way after that. Probably the second week of December, depending on when I finish these books. But I just thought this was such a good, perfect mood read for Thanksgiving because it's all about food and magical realism. And I just need a little bit of that right now. I'll just read a brief synopsis. It says, American chef Georgia May Jackson has one goal: to run her own restaurant in Paris. After a grueling decade working in Parisian kitchens, she is on the cusp of success. But in one disastrous night, Georgia loses her sous chef position, her French boyfriend, and her sense of taste. Renowned for her refined palate and daring use of bold flavors to create remarkable dishes, Georgia is devastated to discover her culinary gift has simply vanished. So I'm very excited to read that. And also, I got this from the library because I'm maybe I should take advantage of actually going to the library and just picking up books that I don't necessarily need to own. But I just thought this would just be so cute. And I went to the library with my boyfriend last week and checked that book out. So I'm very excited to read that. And also, I want to read it before I have to return it. And I don't want to extend it. I just want to read it and return it. So, but I am very excited to read it. The next one I did put in my October Halloween TBR vlog, but I still haven't read it, so this will probably be the very first book that I read in December, or I might start it. I'm probably going to start it November 30th, because this week I have The Silent Patient, I have Recipe for a Charmed Life, and I have Bloodguard. And then this book is probably going to be the last book that I start this week, because now I only have 6 days before the month is over, and I'm planning on finishing those 3 books. So it's still 3 more books. So the next book is The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I just really do want to read this before The Wedding Witch. Now I'm going to end up reading 2 books from the same author in November and December, but I'm also planning on reading 2 trilogies in December as well. So we're going to be reading a lot of the same authors, which is totally fine because I want to get to this because it is part of a series. So I just want to read it before The Wedding Witch so I can read The Wedding Witch during Christmas. It just says the follow-up to Erin Sterling's New York Times best-selling hit, Can I Speak? The Ex-Hex features fan favorite Gwen and the spine-tingling, oh my god, why is this so bright? Like, I cannot deal right now. Like, it's way too bright. And now it's like hella blurry. Why? That's bizarre. Why did it just get so blurry? Oh my god. That was weird. That was like an angel effect. It says Gwen and the spine-tingingly handsome Wells Penhallow as they battle a new band of witches and their own magical chemistry. So I just really want to get to this. It just sounds like a really good time. So I think this is just going to be the perfect fluffy read for the end of November because I am craving a good romance right now. And I really did enjoy the first book. I thought it was just a fun time. So I'm excited for this one. That did not make the bed. Definitely did not. Okay. Then the next one, I know I still haven't read this book, and I did put it on my November TBR and also my 10 before the end, my end of year TBR. So I'm going to be reading it in this video. I know I'm reading this. So this is going to be the next book that I read after The Kiss Curse. I just want to read this so badly, and that is Kristin Hannah's The Nightingale. I just want to see what all the hype is about. I know people say that this is one of their favorite books of all time, and like I said before, I wanted to read at least 2 books from Kristin Hannah before the year is over. So this one I really did want to read before The Women. I just really had a feeling that I wanted to read this before I read The Women. Why can't I speak right now? I'm just freaking tired. So I'm really excited to read this. It basically says, with courage, grace, and powerful insight, best-selling author Kristin Hannah captures the epic panorama of World War II and illuminates an intimate part of history seldom seen, the Women's War. I'm not going to read too much because I've read this like 5 times already, but 100% reading this. I cannot wait. I kind of want something that will really make me emotional and cry a little bit. So then next up, I'm probably going to read this one right after The Nightingale because I'm going to need something a bit lighter after that. And also this is a continuation of a series. So I really do want to read this, and this is probably going to be one of the newest releases that I read before the end of the year because the other 3 are all Christmas books that were released in October that I'm reading in December, but I don't know if I'm actually going to be getting to that many 2024 releases in December besides this one and the next one that I'm talking about, and none of the ones that I talked about were released in 2024, but I kind of want to read stuff that's like wasn't released in 2024, but this was. So anyway, the next one is going to be Games Untold by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this is a short story collection that is a continuation of the Inheritance Games series. And if you guys didn't know, I did read the Inheritance Games series in April. I just binged it in like a week, I think. Very fast paced, very fun, like mindless reads pretty much. If you need something when you're in a reading slump, I highly suggest the Inheritance Games series. It's just a really easy YA adventure series, YA mystery adventure series that it's just a good time. I know more people like the Natural series than in the Inheritance Games, but I still think the Inheritance Games is great. So I really do want to read this as well. I haven't read any of these. I thought for some reason I had read some of them, but I don't own any of the special edition Inheritance Games books, and some of the short stories that are in here were published in the special editions. So these are all new stories to me, so I'm very excited for this one as well. And that's like the most recent release that I'm going to read in this video. And then next up, I really want to read this. This just shot up my TBR, and I didn't really have any plans of reading this in December. And then I'm like, I really, really want to read this before the year is over. And also, this is another 2024 release. It came out back in February, and I just want to see what all the hype is about. So I'm going to be reading The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett. And this one says, a Holmes and Watson style detective duo take the stage in this fantasy with a mystery twist from the Edgar-winning, multiple Hugo-nominated Robert Jackson Bennett. So this just sounds so fun because it's like a kind of like a mystery fantasy, and I've never really read something like that. So this is going to be super exciting, and I really can't wait to read this. And then next up, I'm just going to read the first book in this video, but I think I'm just going to binge the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy finally. I'm like super in the mood to read the first book, so I'm probably just going to end up binging the other two after this vlog is over, but I wanted to include this in this video because it's still the first book in a series, and I just really, really want to get to this. I want to get to this more so than Belladonna. I will read Belladonna, but I want to read this first, and then I'm going to read You with a View by Jessica Joyce. I might throw that in here as well, but it was only after I was going to read the trilogy, and that would have just been way too many books for this video, so I just wanted to mention this one, and this one just says, there will be plenty of time for me to beat him soundly once I've gotten what I came for. So I think this is a good mix of books. There's some fantasy, there's some romance, there's some thriller, there's some historical fiction, there's some mystery adventure. So we have a really good mix of books, and then we have another mystery fantasy. So we have a really good mix of books in this video. So I think that was why this TBR was really good to do a mood read TBR, because they're all different genres. And right now, that's what I want to do. I don't want to stick to like one specific genre right now. So I'm going to read The Silent Patient and then Recipe for a Charmed Life. And then I'll probably just read Bloodguard because that's the last one that I need to read for my Romantasy vlog video. And then I'll probably read The Kiss Curse after that. So yeah, I will let you guys know when I finish The Silent Patient. And I'm very excited for that book. So bye. Cannot speak. Hi. So I'm gonna make this a super short clip because I didn't realize how freaking long this vlog is. I just apparently can never shut up and never stop talking about books, but it is what it is. Vlogs are long. What do you want from me? But apparently I cannot find the clip of me talking about my thoughts on The Silent Patient. Maybe I didn't film one. I'm not really sure. By Alex Michaelides or something. Maybe I only said it in my Everyday Makeup Lookbook, but I don't think I ever filmed a clip on it. I'm not really sure. Maybe because I got distracted that my sister was here for Thanksgiving. I did like it. I think I only gave it a 4 stars though, because the writing was really, really good. I really did appreciate it, and I can see why this book is so popular. It just didn't really do anything too thrilling for me, but I really did like the buildup of the story. But towards the end, I didn't really like the ending that much, and also I felt like there was a lot of plot holes at the end as well, like with the way that it ended. I'm like, well, then that's it. Because like a lot of people talked about like how good the ending of this book is, and I feel like when there's a lot of hyped up endings, they're not really that insane for me. Like with Metal Slinger, I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, I really don't see why it's so hyped up. I actually felt more thrilling and more gripped by That's Not My Name by Megan Lowley, and that's why I gave that book a 5 stars because I freaking loved it. With The Silent Patient, it was good and the writing was really compelling, but other than that, I felt like the ending fell a little bit flat for me because I felt like there was a lot of buildup with like kind of when you found out like who actually was behind it. I kind of like it wasn't like the never lie twist where I didn't see it coming. This one was a lot more easier to figure out. So basically it's about this woman that killed her husband, and then after she shoots him, she basically doesn't like speak anymore, and she's put into like this mental institution because they think that she's crazy, but it's more so that she's like traumatized by what happened. But also there's like quite a lot of unreliable narration going on with her after she finally does speak, and then there's like this psychiatrist that is psychotherapist. I keep on making that mistake. He's a psychotherapist, and they keep on making the mistake in the book. So that is like the one thing that stuck with me about this book. He is hired to. He wants to like help her speak again, and he thinks that he's the only one that's going to be able to. And then like all this shit happens. But yeah, I still thought it was good. The ending annoyed me because there was like a plot hole in it that like you never really know what truly happens to Alicia after the end of the book. I'm like, okay, she's like the main character, so what the fuck? But anyway, audiobook 10 out of 10. Loved the audiobook. I listened to quite a bit of it on Spotify Premium. And it was really good. So yeah, that's about it. It was still super fast paced and I finished it in a day. So that's because I wanted to finish it before Thanksgiving. I was like, I need to get at least one more book in and one more thriller that I was really excited to read, to see what all the hype was about. I can understand why it's hyped because I still think the writing is very good. So that's it. Bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the second book in this video, and that is Recipe for a Charmed Life by Rachel Linden. I'm going to make a super quick review for this because I really don't have that much time. I have to get ready to see Moana with a few of my friends, and I'm very excited for that, but your girl is sick, and it sucks that I had to be sick today, but my sister got me sick. I'm so mad. But anyway, this was so good. I thought this was so cute. I just really like her writing. And I finished my first library book in like a long time, but I just finished this right now. I started it on Thanksgiving and I just finished it now. I actually only have like a half hour of Bloodguard left. I've been reading that book for like 5 days. But I've been listening to the audiobook all day today, and now I only have less than 40 minutes left in the audiobook. So I'm hoping to finish that right before I leave for the movies. But anyway, this was really cute. I really liked it. Basically, it's about this woman named Georgia. And I think I read a bit of the synopsis in my TBR video. But basically, she loses like her sense of taste, and she can't taste anything. And she basically has lost like her passion and love for cooking. And she kind of goes to go see her, basically estranged mother reaches out to her and tells her, that I would love for you to come back to me. And she ends up going to like where her mother is now. And it's like on this kind of like enchanted island in California, and basically there she finds like her love for cooking again, but also she falls in love. And it was just so cute. And then like she keeps on getting like her certain tastes back, like sour and sweet and salty and all of that, and basically it reignites her passion and love for cooking. And like I said, this was such a perfect read for Thanksgiving. So I'm going to give this a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I just really enjoy her books. They're just such cozy comfort reads, even though some of it is about grief. Just like the way that she like writes is just like so magical. Oh my God. Damn it. Sorry. Oh God. Oh my God. So yeah, really enjoyed this. I'm not sure what I'm going to read next after this, like full-length book. Because there might be another one that I'm adding into this video, because it's whatever I'm in the mood for, and I might replace this as my thriller for this month rather than Billy Summers, and I know I constantly keep on pushing that book off. But I'm kind of in the mood for this book, which is called That's Not My Name by Megan Lawley. And this was actually on Goodreads, I think this is a YA thriller. And I haven't read really that many YA thrillers since A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Those are really like the only YA thrillers I've read this year. And this book seems to be getting a lot of hype. And again, it was nominated in that category. So now I'm like really tempted to read this. And also I saw that Mads Rafferty freaking loved this book. She gave it 6 stars and she said that she could not put it down. She read it in less than 24 hours. And I feel like I need something that's just gonna like suck me in right now and then I can finish like super quickly. So it might be this, or like I said, I'm gonna read Sophie Cousin's new release, which is She Really Going Out With Him? I think I'm just gonna read both of them and see which one I want to read tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to start either of them tonight after I finish Bloodguard, though, because I think I'm just going to end the month with a short story, because I'm not going to have time to finish another book tonight, obviously. But after I finish Bloodguard, then I will have hit my reading goal this month, and that'll be 16 books. I usually read 15 to 17 books a month, but pretty much 16 has been like my average for like a while now. So yeah, I wasn't able to finish the audiobook of Listen for the Lie, because I think I'm going to finish that probably tomorrow or Monday, because I've been listening to the audiobook of Bloodguard, so I just want to finish that before I finish Listen for the Lie. But I think I'm going to end the month with The Housemaid's Wedding, which is by Frida McFadden, and it's just like a super short, quick story. I think it's only like 60 or 70 pages. So I think I'm just going to read that tonight just so I can read one more book, and then technically I will have read 17 books this month. But also, I just want something like really easy to read later. So yeah, that's it. I need to go. So I might like work that into this. Did I say it's by Frida McFadden? I don't know if I did or not, but a lot of people said it's pretty bad. But honestly, I don't know. I'm in the mood for something like not that great. I don't know why. Like, you just want to see like why it's so bad. I don't know. But like before, I was like, I was not liking some of the books that I was reading this past month, and it was putting me in a bad mood. But now I'm like, I kind of want to see why it's so bad. So yeah, that's it. I gotta go. Bye. So hey there, guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the super short story that I read. It literally only took me like an hour to read, and that's The Housemaid's Wedding by Frida McFadden. I wasn't really sure if I was gonna read any more Frida McFadden this year, because I have read, I think, 9 of her books at this point. But the last 3 books that I read from her was in October, and then I didn't read any books from her in November until this short story. But I just wanted something like super short and sweet to end the month with, because obviously I wasn't going to be able to read like a full-length book last night. So I'm like, let me just read this so I can also get another 2024 release out of the way. And it was okay. It wasn't terrible. I gave it a 3 stars. Like,
For me, I don't really take Frida McFadden's books too seriously anymore because they're not supposed to be taken seriously. They're kind of like ridiculous and it's just funny to me. Like it's not supposed to be like super serious. And also, but I think the reason why people get so pissed off is because Millie really is just like, I don't know why she's made Millie like such a dumb character at this point because she literally killed somebody. Like, even though it was self-defense, she did kind of like lose control and still killed someone by like bashing them over the head like multiple times. So it's not like but I love that she, went through like a character arc where she does like redeem herself and like you see like the things that she has to do in order to like, just live in regular society because she's still a felon. And that was like the whole interesting concept about the housemaid. But like in this, she is kind of dumb, but I didn't really take it too seriously because it was just a short story because I kind of read this as like in the same mindset as the novella that I read from Frida McFadden, and I thought that was actually the best Frida McFadden book I've read in the past 2 months, which was My Boyfriend's Widow's Wife or something like that. I loved that book. I thought it was so funny. So with this, like, I was kind of cracking up at some things. There was also I think it was a good short story, though, because it did add a little bit to Millie's character because her parents are fucking assholes. And there was still someone that was, like, following her around. And I did get, like, a creepy feeling, like, once. And, like, in order for me, I actually think her more condensed stories are kind of better. Because, like, with, like I said, the last 3 books I read from her, The Teacher, Do Not Disturb, and The Boyfriend. The Boyfriend was my favorite out of the 3, but the other 2 just, like, kind of fell flat for me. Where, like, I was creeped out with Do Not Disturb in the first half, and then the second half really fell flat for me, and I was just like, this went in a direction that I didn't really like. And then The Teacher was just, like, it was a little creepy, but I do think that was a better book than Do Not Disturb, to be honest. Now that I think about it, I do think The Teacher was a bit more thrilling. And then, but I gave Do Not Disturb a 3.75 because I did get more creeped out than The Teacher. So anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about these. The Boyfriend, I wasn't like creeped out at all, but I liked it. So I gave it a 3 stars. So now I'm going to read another 2024 release because The Housemaid's Wedding just came out last week. So that was another 2024 release down. And now I'm going to read Is She Really Going Out With Him by Sophie Cousins. I probably have said this 3 times already, but I just am really in the mood for a romance right now. And like I said, I really just wanted to mood read the first week of December because I had read a lot of romantices in November. So I finally finished Bloodguard yesterday too. And I also finished Recipe for a Charmed Life. And then I also finished the short story. So technically, I finished 3 books yesterday, so that was really nice. I was going to start this last night, but then I just got way too tired after I finished the short story. So I was like, as long as I finish that, I don't really care. I'll just start this today. So today's December 1st. I should be able to get through at least 150 pages of this. It's like 350 pages. I'll probably try to get to as close to 200 as possible, but I think this is going to be really cute. But yeah, 202 is where I would like to get to because it's like 350. So if I get through 200 pages today and then read the other 150 pages tomorrow, then I should just finish it tomorrow night. So that's already 1 book down. And then I don't know if I'm going to... I really do want to read The Nightingale, but I don't know why I'm, like, putting off that book so much. I'm like, I want to read this book and this book and this book over that book first. But I feel like if I just read it after this, I just needed, like, a light book to start the month with. And like I said, I haven't really read that much romance. I didn't really read that much romance last month. Like, I think I only read What You Wish For, which wasn't even technically a romance. It was kind of just more women's fiction. And then I think the only other one, I don't think I read any other romance last month. So yeah, that's why I read Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist, but I started that Halloween night and then I just finished it like uh November 1st. But yeah, and Recipe for a Charmed Life was kind of a little romantic, but it's more like a women's magical realism and women's fiction. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to read this. So, I will check in with you guys once I finish that book. So, bye.
Okay, so hey there, guys. So I'm just gonna be whispering because my sister is now home for Thanksgiving and everybody's sleeping and it's like 2 in the morning. But I just wanted to let you guys know I am changing up one of the books in this video. So one of the books on this TBR. Because I don't think I'm gonna read Daughter of the Pirate King in this vlog. But I am going to read that series after this vlog is over because I'm still dying to read it. But there's actually one book that I'm going to be reading. Hopefully after, well, I am going to read it after Recipe for a Charmed Life by Rachel Linden. And that is actually a new release because I do want to read as many 2024 releases that I wanted to read as possible. Because, like, basically the only 2024 releases that I didn't get to were all ones that I didn't read the first book in the series in. Like, and those were all books that were first books in series that came out, like, last year. Because, like, I was doing really good about reading first books in series of, like, books that came out this year, like Five Broken Blades, Fading to Blood, all the romantasy books I'm reading, like Bloodguard, Quicksilver, Metal Slinger, like all of those. I wanted to read those because they all came out this year and they were all like super hyped and all of that. But anyway, I still wanted to read this one. I wasn't sure if I was going to read this year, but I actually really do enjoy her writing. So I picked it up at Target today and I am going to read this one after Recipe for a Charmed Life, and that is She Really Going Out with Him by Sophie Cousins. This did come out, I believe, the same day as Songbird in the Heart of Stone, actually, but obviously I read that on release day. But this actually came out on November 19th as well, and I just really want like 2 really short reads after I read Bloodguard because we literally only have 4 days left in the month in November. But Bloodguard is like, I believe, my 15th book. It's not in this video. It's my last video, my last book that I need to read for my romantasy vlog. So yeah, it is my 15th book. And then Recipe for a Charmed Life is going to be my 16th book, and then also I am still listening to Listen for the Lie. I never remember the author's name. Her name's like Aunt Amy something, like Tenerta or something like that. Tenera, maybe. But I know her name is Amy. But I am listening to that, and I actually got quite a bit into that. So I am going to include my thoughts on that in this video as well. But I'm just listening to it because the audiobook is amazing. And I'm really, really enjoying it so far. I think I like it even more than The Silent Patient when it comes to like a thriller. But anyway, we're going to be reading this one. Very excited for this one. I think it's going to be really cute. So yeah, we're just going to be reading this very soon. Because I do want to read this before this month is over though, because it was released in November. So I might just binge this on Saturday but I just don't know when I'm going to finish Bloodguard because like, I did hit 100 pages. So I read like 95 pages today. Because again, I didn't really have that much time to read today because it's Thanksgiving. So anyway, that has nothing to do with this video. Very excited to read this. I will check in with you guys when I'm done with Recipe for a Charmed Life. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish like the third book that I read in this video, and that is Sophie Cousins' Is She Really Going Out With Him? I just finished this at work. And this was actually the first book that I finished in the month of December, because I started it on December 1st, and I literally finished it like literally 3 hours ago, December 2nd. So this took me like no time. I loved this. I actually had 2 back-to-back 5 stars, and I'm about to tell you about the next one in a minute. But this was just so good. I thought it was adorable. I just really was just giggling, kicking my feet, laughing, smiling the whole time I was reading this book. And I was like, that's how I knew that this was a 5-star romance for me. So found another 5-star romance. Very, very happy about that. It was just so good. I always feel a little reading slumpy at the beginning of a month. That it's like I'm so overwhelmed with options that I don't know what to read, and I literally felt like that right after I finished this, and I just finished my audiobook as well, and then I'm like, what do I read after this? Even though this is a mood reading vlog, and I pretty much, set a TBR for myself in this vlog, I'm kind of straying from the TBR that I set for myself in this vlog. But this was on my TBR, and I loved it. I thought it was just so adorable. So it's basically about Anna and Will. And Anna and Will work at a magazine together. And they're basically rivals. And she just really doesn't like Will. But I absolutely loved Anna's character. I thought she was just amazing. She's a single mom with 2 kids who's recently divorced from a guy named Dan, which is her ex-husband. And basically she just has to balance life being single after getting divorced. And like so many people are asking her like, when are you going to get back out there? And it's like, why does everybody care? But then she like realizes that she's like, she wants to get back out there, not because people are asking her, but because she like, starts to get curious like whether or not she's going to be able to have those feelings again for somebody. And I feel like I could relate to Anna like so much, even though I've never been married before. Like I've been broken up with plenty of times. And it's like the same thing as being like broken up with. Like a divorce, like literally people describe as like being like one of the worst feelings in the world. But somebody breaking up with you is pretty bad too. I literally feel like you want to die. If only I had books then to immerse myself in, I probably wouldn't have read any romance books. But anyway, this was just so good. I just loved Anna and Will's banter. Some of the quotes in this book and some of the pages of this book, I was taking pictures constantly of the writing in this book because I just loved it. And I had a feeling I was going to love this, so I gave it a 5 stars. I just freaking loved it. I thought it was so good. I have like no words. I just had such a good time reading this, and I feel like I had only read one previous book from Sophie Cousins before, and that is The Good Part. But then I was like, when I saw that this was coming out, I think I saw that this was coming out and said, when I found out it was coming out in November, I think I saw that in like September, and I was like, ooh, I'm like kind of intrigued by it. So I decided to pick it up, and it's just so good. And I'm so happy that I started the month with a romance because I didn't really read any romance last month. Like, I read a shit ton of romantasy, but I didn't really read romance. So I was like, I was really in the mood for just like something that was like a good romance, not something that was like super cheesy. And it felt like their romance was so real. And there was a bit of a miscommunication trope, but honestly, there was like so many reasons as to why they couldn't communicate with each other, and I think it's because they were older. This was also an age gap romance because he was younger than her, but it was just like, I don't know, it was just adorable. I loved this so much. I ate it up, and her kids were hysterical.
So I really, really liked it. I don't really have anything else to say, but I highly recommend you read that. And then if you're looking for a good romance, I thought it was great. And also it was a British, she's a British author. I feel like British authors always hit for me. I usually end up liking British authors and British literature more than American writing, because I don't know, they just know how to write. They're just so good. And then the second book that I finished today, I literally just finished it right now because I only had 2 hours left in the audiobook, so I just wanted to bang it out and I wanted to find out what happened at the end. I finished Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera, I believe her name is. And I was just really, really intrigued to read this book and basically listen. I mean, I've been wanting to listen to the audiobook for a while, and then I found it for free on YouTube. So, like, that just made me so much more inclined to read it. So it's by Amy Tintera, and it's on, like, this YouTube channel's page. I'm not going to show it that much because I don't want them to have it be taken down. So I just listened to it there. Another 5-star. I thought it was so freaking good. The audiobook, oh my god, the audiobook was fan-fucking-tastic. I loved it so much. I just literally, this is probably my first full audiobook that I've listened to since Night Road by Kristen Hanna, because last month I didn't really listen to a full audiobook. I was like tandem listening and reading the romances that I was reading. Like, I listened to Dagger in the Flame while I was reading it, and then I also listened to Quicksilver as I was reading it, which that audiobook was amazing as well. And also I got the Bloodguard audiobook so I could finish it faster, and also that audiobook was amazing. I just love getting the audiobooks when I read romantasy and fantasy, because it like just makes you like immersed into that world like even more. But anyway, this audiobook was fucking fantastic. It's basically about this woman named Lucy, and everybody thinks that she killed her best friend Savvy. And that's basically all I'm going to tell you. And the podcaster named Ben comes to her town and starts interviewing like her family, her friends, her townspeople, all of that, to find out who killed Savvy, because it's never been solved. And Lucy never got charged for the murder, so you don't know if she's done it or not. So it's just like such a good whodunit. But the audiobook is done in a podcast form where like it has episodes of Ben's podcast, and then also the chapters are all from Lucy's perspective, with like encounters with her family, with Ben and everything. And it was just so freaking good. Oh my god, what a great thriller. This is like my favorite thriller that I've read in like a long time. I think since Never Lie. So I guess I like books that have lie in the title. I literally just realized that. But I think I just gave it 5 stars because the audiobook was 5 stars for me. The audiobook was just perfection, but also the story was so good, so compelling. I kind of figured it out at the end though, but I still gave it a 5 stars because I thought the writing was great. I thought that the full cast of characters was just great. I just loved it from beginning to end. And we still didn't really get the full story at the end, but it was kind of satisfying the way it ended. So I really liked it. I highly recommend it. It's also nominated. Did I say that right? It's also nominated as Best Audiobook of 2024 for Goodreads, and that's the one I voted for because I was listening to it as I was voting for those books, and I knew that I was intending on listening to it regardless I didn't start it or not. It was phenomenal. So now I'm going to read another thriller because apparently the gods want me to read this, because I put this on the Wheel of Names, and originally this book was not on my TBR, but then I was like, I really am in the mood to binge a book. I'm probably going to start it right now. If it sucks me in, it sucks me in, and then I might not be able to put it down. But I'm going to start That's Not My Name by Megan Lowry. Callie. What the hell's wrong with you? And this is a YA thriller, and this kind of got bumped up on my TBR because this is nominated for Best YA Thriller on Goodreads. So now I kind of want to see what all the hype is about. And also, I saw that Mads Rafferty read this recently. I think she read it in October, for Halloween. And she gave this a 6 stars. She said this book was unputdownable, and now I feel like maybe I should just start it tomorrow. Because I was thinking about either starting The Nightingale or Daughter of the Pirate King, and I might just start this tomorrow. So I don't know. I'm still very indecisive, but I think I am just going to read this. And if it keeps me up all night, who cares? I haven't been sleeping anyway, but I think it's only going to take me a few hours to read this because it's only 290 pages. And I just need a thriller to freaking scare me at this point, and I think this might do that because literally every thriller that I've read, like The Silent Patient, Listen for the Lie, even though Listen for the Lie was a 5-star for me, it didn't really scare me. So I want to be thrilled, all right? So we're going to start this. But this got picked on the Wheel of Names for me. So I put The Nightingale, Daughter of the Pirate King, and this book on there. And this is the one that I picked. Then I also sent a picture of all 3 to my boyfriend. And this is the one he picked. Because he used to sing this song to me all the time. When we first started dating, he always say, "That's not my name. That's not my name. That's not my name. They call me Caitlin. They call me Caitlin." And I'm like, okay, I knew you were going to pick this one. I thought he was going to pick this one or Daughter of the Pirate King, but it is what it is. And then I think I'm going to binge Daughter of the Pirate King right after I finish this. I just wanted to binge one more book before I binge a series. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go and I will check in when I finish this book. So bye. I did finish another book for this video, but this book was not on my original TBR because I said I was going to read The Nightingale, but then I decided to pick up this book instead. I kind of wanted to binge a book in a day, and I wanted to read a thriller. And what I was saying before this clip was that this is a mood reading vlog, so just because I set a certain TBR for myself doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily want to be in the mood to read them. I was in the mood to read this one, and also I put some books on the Wheel of Names, which was this book, The Nightingale, and Daughter of the Pirate King, and it landed on this book. Then I also sent the 3 book options to my boyfriend, and he picked this book too. And I was like, you know what? I really just want to binge a book before I have to work during the day tomorrow because I wasn't going to have as much reading time to read during the day. So I just finished That's Not My Name by Megan Lowley. I started this book last night and then I read probably over 200 pages today. I read 230 pages today, so this book sucked me in, and I finished it so quickly. So I guess I finished a book in a day, because it only took me less than 24 hours to read this. Because even though I started it the night before, I still read 70 pages of it, like I said, but it was already technically the next day. And then I just finished it literally maybe 10 minutes ago, not even. Sorry, my leg just started itching like crazy. I don't know why. I literally just put eczema cream on, but for some reason it just got really itchy all of a sudden. So, sorry about that. But this was another 5-star read for me. I guess it was a idea to mood read because I am just finding back to back amazing books. This was fantastic. Like, just sucked me in. So super fast paced. And this is her debut novel. I did not even know that. And guess what? Guess what? Because I just looked her up on Goodreads to see what other books she has written. This is her only book that she's written so far. And her next book comes out next month, next year, January 2025. January 2025, I mean. So I'm like, well, I guess it was a good thing that I read this now. Not that it's a series or anything. But then I'm like, now I can read her next book because this was such a delight and it was just so freaking good. It sucked me in so fast. The writing was fantastic, and I think that sometimes YA thrillers are written better than adult thrillers because I feel like with adult thrillers, they treat like adult readers like we're dumb. Like in this book, there was nothing stupid that these characters did, and they're all a bunch of teenagers. And they all did things and questioned things like normally like a teenager's brain would question if I was still a teenager, but also um it makes sense with the ways that this book was handled. So basically, or I mean how the characters handled the situations in this book. So basically this girl named Mary is abducted by someone that's claiming that her is her dad. But as the book slowly goes on, you realize that this man is not her dad. Even though it says in the synopsis that he is, he's not. She loses her memory as she gets abducted by him. So she can't remember whether or not this guy is her dad. Like, obviously, if her memory wasn't taken, because she got like bashed over the head when he had abducted her, then she would have been like, that's not my dad. I don't know who the fuck this person is. But she was like, the guy like shows up at the police station and she's like, he's like, I'm her father. And she's like, and then he shows like proof of identification, like with her birth certificate and like, other forms of identification. And she's like, okay, well, this guy's my dad, so I'm gonna go home with him. So, like, what else is she supposed to do? She's not going to stay in the precinct. And the dude already checked, like, his identification. So, he thinks that it's safe enough. And basically, like, there's, like, things that go on at the... So, he takes her, like, to this cabin, like, in the middle of the woods. And, like, look at this creepy-ass cover. Like, isn't it creepy as hell? I did get a little bit of the creeps with this. It didn't necessarily scare me too much, but, like... Literally the last like 60 pages, I knew shit was gonna go down, and it was crazy. My jaw was on the floor, and then the twist in this, I did not see coming at all. Even with Listen for the Lie and The Silent Patient, I kind of had guessed at that point at who had done it, but with this, I mean, I already know who had done it, but the twist was something that I did not see coming at all. Like, because we already knew who had done it at this point. And it was so good. My jaw was on the floor. And it was just so fast paced. And I can't believe I finished it in a day. But I knew I was going to finish this, like, super quickly. And also, I had just bought this book recently. So it feels so good to, like, finish books that I've just bought. So, yeah. I really enjoyed it. So basically, it's about this other character named Drew as well, who has recently lost his girlfriend, Lola, and everybody thinks that he's the one that has made Lola disappear. Like, they think that he hurt her because he was the last person to see her alive. And he, like, won't give up looking for her because he thinks that she's still alive. Or so we think.
but then like shit gets crazy and there's like again a twist that I didn't see coming. So I absolutely loved this. I thought it was great. And I'm very excited to read her next book, like to add to the endless amount of TBR that I have. So now I'm going to take a break from mood reading, even though I really do want to mood read a lot this month. But I'm going to go back to my TBR now because I already finished 3 books this month. But I'm going to go into Daughter of the Pirate King now. And I'm just going to binge that series because I am so in the mood to binge a series right now. And I think those books are going to take me like no time. So I should finish those within like 6 days time. So yeah, that's it. And I will check in with you guys and when we pick our next book. So bye.
Okay, so hey there, guys. So I wanted to continue this mood reading vlog because I haven't in a few days because I did binge the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. And I did finish that last night. And that was on my TBR for forever. So I felt really good binging that. And it felt really good to finally get to another series. And I loved it. It was just so much fun. So I really have taken a turn on the TBR for this video. But I'm still reading my monthly TBR now. So but I'm like just picking books that I am in the mood for rather than like sticking to this TBR in this video. Because again, it was only like, that was like the potential TBR for this video. But now I'm not going to read Games Untold in this or The Kiss Curse because I am going to be reading those for just other I'm actually reading Games Untold for another video, and then The Kiss Curse I'm just going to read right before The Wedding Witch. So those will be 2 series complete, actually. I'm trying to complete 5 series this month, and I know that's a lot, but I'm actually going to be filming a continuing series that I'm in the middle of video. And I'm not a person that's like really like in the middle of that many series, but I'm going to catch up with Games Untold. I mean, with Inheritance Games with Games Untold, so I'll be all caught up with Inheritance Games in that video. And then The Kiss Curse and The Wedding Witch, I'm going to read just right during, like, the week of Christmas, so I can just read both, because The Wedding Witch is a Christmas book. And then I'm also going to be filming a Christmas vlog of all the Christmas books that I want to read. It's only 3, but still, I wanted to film that and just, you know, do a little Christmas reading vlog. I don't really think there might be different books in this video, but I just wanted to say that I did start Catherine Center's How to Walk Away today after I finished, you know, Daughter of the Pirate King, and I forgot to film this before when I started it, but I'm on page 102 already, and this is only a 300-page book. And so far, I'm enjoying this so much. Like I said, I did want to get another Catherine Center book read before this year is over. I think I've read half the books that I want to read from her. This is now my 4th book from her. And so far, I'm really, really enjoying this one. This one is really, really good. This is kind of the same writing that I loved in Hello Stranger. And I'm really, really enjoying this. This might be a potential 5-star. Like I said, I'm 100 pages in, so. But I will update you guys later. I've just been reading a lot of my physical TBR this month. And I'm really liking it so far. So I will check in with you guys when it is done. And also, I am finishing up an audiobook. I'm literally on the last chapter now. And that is Lights Out by Navissa Allen. And I actually did buy the physical book of this, but literally all I did was just keep track on where I was, like page number wise in the physical book, but I'm going to return it because I literally just listened to the entire thing. I did start Crescent City a couple of days back, on Audible because Audible did have a huge like Amazon sale recently, but I decided to listen to this instead because this book was only going to take me less than 8 hours to finish, and now I'm on the epilogue already. It only took me a few days to finish this,
And I really wanted to get to this because I was kind of in the mood for it. And also, people talked about how good the audiobook was, and I really am loving the audiobook. And also, this is kind of like the book of the moment right now. I feel like everybody's reading it, even though this book is like not too new. I think it came out in 2023. But I'm surprised that it's blowing up now. I think because Larry Reed's talked about it, but it became like #1 on Amazon for like dark romances. Oh my God, it did come out this year. Well, that's great. So I have another 2024 release under my belt. It came out in March, March 2nd, 2024. So, okay. So I did not realize that. Why did I think it came out last year? I'm an idiot. But anyway, I'm on the epilogue. I only have 20 minutes left, so I'm about to finish this up, and I will talk to you guys about it when it's done. But yeah, that's how I've been mood reading, and this is what a mood reading vlog is that you don't have to stick strictly to the TBR. It was just like a potential TBR. I might end this vlog after the last book that I read, but I might read these 2 books this week because I might just be in the mood for both of these, because I kind of just want to mood read this week, and then next week I kind of want to commit to a duology that I've been wanting to read. So the TBR is changing up in this video. I really, really want to read Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling after I'm done with How to Walk Away, because the next book in this series comes out next July. So there's only 1 book so far, and people have been waiting for the next book to come out in this series. I just wanted to see if there was something on it, but there's not. This cover's so gorgeous though, and these end papers are like phenomenal. But yeah, I'm kind of craving something with dragons in it. Even though Bloodguard did have dragons in it, I feel like they're, it wasn't really enough. And I haven't really read anything with dragons in it for quite a while. Even all the romantices that I read some fae fantasy. I read, what else did I read? I don't even remember. Why am I blanking on that week? Oh my goodness. I read Songbird in the Heart of Stone, which was about the underworld, and then Skyshade was about, Nightbane and the Lightlark realm. So there wasn't really dragons in those, but I think this is going to scratch my itch. I'm very, very excited to read this book. And then maybe we'll end the vlog with You with a View by Jessica Joyce, because I am really in the mood to read this as well. So I might just read Fear the Flames and then this one, and then maybe The Tainted Cup, because again, I just want to read books that I really just want to, mood read, because again, and then I was like, no, I'm going to go into a series after How to Walk Away. And I'm like, no, I just want to mood read this week. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. And yeah, I'm having a great time. I've been having a fantastic reading month so far. I have been loving every single book that I've been reading. Or I have not read a bad book this month yet. So I don't know if these are going to break the trend, because I have heard, yes, that's what we're calling it now, heard, Caitlin. I've heard mixed reviews about the re-edited non-indie version of this book, and that's what this one is, but I'm still excited to read it because it's under 400 pages, so it's not even that long. And this one I've heard is not as good as the Ex-Hex, but people still enjoyed it, so I'm still excited to read this one. And I loved the Ex-Hex, oh my god, the Ex-Vows by Jessica Joyce. So I really did want to read this. I bought this immediately after I read the Ex-Vows because I wanted to read more of her books because I enjoyed her writing so much. So yeah, I think we're just going to end the vlog with How to Walk Away, Fear the Flames, You with the View, and Lights Out. That's still 4 more books. So that's it. Bye.
books I actually have read in this video. I think I've read about 6. So I don't know if I'm going to end it after I finish How to Walk Away, because I feel like with a mood reading vlog for me, oh my God, my camera, sorry. I feel like with a mood reading vlog for me now, I feel like it could go on for forever, because it's like, what am I in the mood for? And then it's like, I've already read like 6 books. I think I've read, and I really didn't read that many books that were on my original TBR for this video, which again is totally fine. I read Is She Really Going Out With Him by Sophie Cousins. I read That's Not My Name by Megan Lowley. I read the super short Frida McFadden Housemaid's Wedding short story. I read Recipe for a Charmed Life. I read The Silent Patient. I think that's it. Don't think I read any other ones. I'm trying to think, and I don't think I did. And I listened to 2 audiobooks. That's what it was. I think I talked about Listen for the Lie, but now I'm going to talk about the other audiobook that I just finished. That's why I'm doing this check-in. So I did finish Lights Out by Navessa Allen. So I wanted to update you guys on what my thoughts were. I think I am going to end this vlog after finishing this. I also want to make an update about this as well, because I haven't finished it yet, but I'm pretty much halfway through, and I have to update you guys about that book. But anyway, about Lights Out. For my first dark romance, because like I said, I do want to get into some dark romance next year. I heard that Lights Out was kind of like, you know, a lighter, more like dark rom-com kind of book. And honestly, it was really, really funny. But I'm going to give this book just a 4 stars, which is still really good. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really fun. Like I said, I have not rated any books lower than 4 stars this month. I have been having a spectacular reading month so far. Every single book I've read, I have enjoyed so much. And I think that's why I like all I want to do is read now. Because like I've said before, it really helps when you read good books to actually not put yourself in a slump or feel like reading. But even yesterday and today, I didn't really feel like reading as much as I would have liked to. But then that's when I'm like, I'm just going to finish the audiobook. And it was great. And it was so much fun. But for a dark romance, it wasn't really that dark. Like, there was maybe only 3 scenes that were just a little bit more smuttier and things that aren't in normal, like, smut scenes that were in this book. But besides that, it is still about the romance, though. And it's like a rom-com, but he, like, stalks her. But they, like, crack jokes about it constantly, about, like, how messed up they both are. Sorry. And it's just so funny. But there were, like, just a couple of lines that made me cringe just a little bit. But, like, it's nothing like, that would turn me off from reading the book. Sorry, why am I sneezing so much? I swear, it's taking me so long to get over this freaking cold still. I'm pretty much better. I just cannot get rid of, like, the nasaliness. Like, I've been blowing my nose constantly, and I've been taking a Claritin, like, every day. It's so annoying. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. It really was not as dark as I thought it was going to be, though. But I'm going to return the physical book because I don't need it. Because I purchased it on Audible during their sale and just listened to the entire audiobook. I didn't read the physical book at all. So I'm not going to keep it. Like, it's not a book that I have to keep. And usually, if I have to get a physical copy of a book, it's going to be something on Kindle Unlimited that I read. Usually, if I listen to an audiobook, I'm just going to exclusively listen to the audiobook. If I listen to it in full, where I'm not, like, tandem listening and reading it. So, if I don't own the physical book, or if I'm, like, reading it on Kindle Unlimited, unless I become obsessed with it, like I said, with, like, The Serpents of the Wings of Night and stuff like that. So, I don't know why I'm rambling about this yet again. And I had to get Quicksilver as well. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it.
it really was not as dark as I thought it was going to be. There were a couple parts where I was like, oh no, like what's going to happen? Is this going to get like too triggering for me? But honestly, like none of it was really triggering, honestly. There was like one scene that was just like, oh, that's unusual, but like nothing that was really that deep or dark. So, yeah, I liked it. Very excited for the second book next year. Okay. So now I have to talk about this. I think this is, like I said, I think this is going to be a 5-star for me. Because I think I checked in where I was like really, really not that far into the book, or maybe I think I was only like 40 pages in. And now I'm 145 pages in, so now I read like another 100 pages. And I love this book. It is just, oh my God, I love this book. I kind of went through a little bit of a Catherine Center slump a tiny bit, because I didn't love Happiness. I really liked Happiness for Beginners more than What You Wish For, but I did not like What You Wish For as much. And Hello Stranger was my only 5-star read that I've read from her so far, that I was like, I'm kind of chasing that feeling again, and I have like with the same author, which is so crazy, like, but I feel like with a Catherine Center book, it's like a treat to myself, because I always know I'm going to enjoy her books. And like I said, this was on my TBR for a few months now, and I'm just so happy I picked this up and read it. And what's so funny is that me and my mom watched this movie on Apple TV earlier called Fly Me to the Moon, with Channing Tatum and Scarlett Johansson, and it was so good. And it like really reminded me of this book, but this book is like a totally different situation. But what's funny is that like in the movie, the main character, like the main guy interest, Channing Tatum, is a pilot for NASA, and he like flies her in a plane to like be romantic, but this is like the total opposite, where, but it's just so funny that I ended up watching that movie at the same time that I'm reading this book. I'm like, what are the odds? Maybe that's why I really wanted to watch it, but I actually didn't even think about that until I saw that scene in the movie. I was like, why is this so relatable to what I'm reading right now? But like just because they both have planes in it, pretty much, because they're completely different situations. So basically, Margaret and Chip. Margaret is the main character. Margaret and Chip are together, and Margaret thinks that Chip is going to like propose to her like this night. But she knows that like one night, I mean, that they're supposed to go to dinner, and she knows that he's like a pilot. But he decides to take her to like go flying, and I'm changing it like a little bit so you guys like don't get spoiled, but basically a life-altering thing happens to her. This is all like on the back of the book. Like this is like in the synopsis, so it's not really ruining anything. And they crash. She's like so hesitant to get on this plane because she's like, I really don't want to do this. But then like a storm happens out of nowhere and they end up crashing. And the thing is that Chip like walks away. How to walk away? He walks away like completely unharmed somehow. But she is like stuck in the plane, and then she gets hospitalized and finds out that she ends up being paralyzed. And that's like the irony of the title, is like it doesn't mean you walk away physically. It's like everything that her and Chip are going through as she's in the hospital, because he's a douchebag and doesn't visit her because he keeps on blaming himself for ruining her life. And I feel like I had just read something like this in Recipe for a Charmed Life by Rachel Linden, where like the main character like blamed himself for something that happened to his ex like fiance, where she walked away from him because she thought he was too overbearing, that he constantly blamed himself. But like he was like the complete opposite of what Chip was, is that like he wanted to take care of her too much, but he's like not taking care of her at all. He's like making the whole situation about him and like whether or not Chip's okay and whether or not Chip is like emotionally strong. And honestly, I just want to say that this is such a commentary about how women are so much more emotionally stronger than men are. And I'm not saying that all women are. Some women are fucking bitches. Some men are complete fucking assholes, though. But sometimes when it comes to like a life-altering situation, the woman has to be stronger for the fucking man. And it's like, she's not even really making it about that she is in a life-altering situation. She just wanted him to be there for her and visit her at the hospital. He hasn't even like visited her at the hospital and like really supported her. Like, that's what she wants. And he wants her to take care of, she wants her to take care, oh my God. She wants him to take care of her. And he's not doing that. He's making it all about him. And it's like fucked up. It's like, it doesn't mean you have to do like fucking everything for them. But at the same time, if you thought that this person was going to propose to you, maybe you should, you know, visit them more often. Like, but sometimes in like life-altering situations, some people, and it's like the same mentalities, like somebody taking care of you when you're sick. I'm not going to name names, but some people like don't know how to do that, but I do it for them. But anyway, really tells you a lot about the person and how they are. So yeah, it's great. I love it. It's so good so far. But also, like, some people act like this in like life-altering situations, or like when my best friend was dying, I found out a lot about certain people. And it's like the type of like person that comes out, like you realize like who your true friends always were, or like who the person is that that really was like there for you. And there's like one line in this that like really stuck with me. Like after she said it, she's like, she didn't even like blame him for like not like loving her and blah blah blah. She said, "You haven't been my friend through any of this." And I'm like, that is so true. It's like, you just need someone to talk to you and be there for you, you know, support you. Hello. And it's like, you know, you need to be friends before you can like be together. So again, so important to my situation, but it is what it is. But I'm loving it and I can't wait to finish this, but I can't believe it took me this long to pick up this book, but I knew I was going to read this year still, and I still wanted to read another one of her books this year. I can't believe I didn't get to the rom-commers this year, though, and that was her 2024 release, but I'm definitely going to read that in 2025, and I'm hoping to read The Bodyguard too, and then I'm going to read her new release that comes out in like May. I forget what it's called, but I'm very excited to read that one when it comes out, so I can actually be part of the Catherine Center crew. And Abby Jimenez and Emily Henry, because I've read both of their backlists. So hopefully, and I've read all of Ashley Poston's romance novels and all of Emily Henry's romance novels. They have written other books, but mostly they are known for their romance books. But I have read Abby Jimenez's entire backlist, and now, and Annabelle Monaghan and Carly Fortune. I am going to be ready for all of their new releases next year, and I'm so excited. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to go because I cannot shut up for some reason. So bye. Okay, so hey there, guys. So I think I am going to end this mood reading vlog. I feel like it's been way too long at this point. So I'm just going to say my thoughts on the book I just finished. So I finished How to Walk Away by Catherine Center. I just finished it, like, right now. I am on a roll reading lately. I've already read 6 books in the past 10 days. And that's like a record for me. Because usually I'll read like 3 books a week. But I already finished, I think, 2 books already. So this week. And I really, really loved like 80% of this. Just like the last like 30 pages or so,
I wasn't in love with, but most of this I adored. I took so many pictures of quotes in this book because I still love the way that Catherine Center writes, and this is now my fourth book that I've read from her. I read Hello Stranger, Happiness for Beginners, What You Wish For, which was kind of the sequel to Happiness for Beginners. So that was technically like a series I continue, but it's not really a series. It's just kind of like it takes place with one of the characters from Happiness for Beginners. It's not really directly correlated to the two main characters of Happiness for Beginners. But this has been sitting in my room for quite a while, and I've been wanting to read this one for a while. And I think I liked this one a lot more than Happiness for Beginners. I think I'm going to give this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I thought that this was going to be a 5 stars, but not quite. Only because I feel like I'm still chasing, like I said, I feel like I'm still chasing that 5-star feeling with Catherine Center again, because Hello Stranger has been the only one from her so far that I've read that has been a 5-star for me. I still really want to read The Bodyguard, the rom-commers, Things We Save in the Fire. Those are all going to be read next year, but this is definitely going to be my last book that I read from her this year. And yeah, I've still read 4 books from her. So this is about Margaret and Chip. And Margaret, like I said, basically gets paralyzed in a horrible accident. And Chip is like victimizing himself on like that he's the one that did this to her. And, you know, Margaret has to start like basically having physical therapy from this physical therapist named Ian. And he's Scottish, and he's a very closed off, like, it's kind of like a play off, like, Grumpy Sunshine, but then when you find out why he is the way he is, it's pretty sad, but also, like, kind of understandable as to why he's so closed off, because honestly, it's pretty tragic. But I didn't feel like, you know, these characters were, like, saying sob stories, or, like, Ian didn't make everything about him the way that Chip made everything about himself when it came to him and Margaret. Like, Ian was different. Ian went through something a lot worse than Chip, but also he didn't make it like all about him. He just thought that that meant that he couldn't be with Margaret. So, but also like Margaret's mother in this is so freaking unreal. Like, she was such a hypocrite, like, during the whole time. And basically, she kept on telling her, like, you can beat this, you can do this. Like, she was one of those delusional kind of mothers where she's like, you need to try harder in order to walk again. And that's, like, the irony of calling it How to Walk Away. But I also, like, appreciate that Catherine Center's books are just so short and easy, and I love that she builds a story so quickly, sometimes even more so and even better than like books that are like over 400 pages. She just really establishes her main characters, and also I really do fall in love with her main characters. Like, I really loved Margaret in this book. I really loved Helen in Happiness for Beginners, and I really loved the main character in Hello Stranger. I don't know why her name is leaving me right now. I mean, yeah, I'm tired. I did a lot today. I'm pretty tired. So all I want to do is go sit and watch TV with my mom now because I finished the book already. So I just wanted to finish it before I went to bed. I got up to like page 156 last night, and then I just read like 140 or something pages of this today to finish it. So I can't believe I finished it already. But again, it wasn't that long. But still, like, I'm finishing books pretty quickly. Yeah, so I think I'm going to end it unless when I edit the clips together, we'll see how long it is. And then I might just fit in Fear the Flames somewhere, but also I am thinking about marathoning another trilogy.
because I actually started Belladonna by Adeline Grace at the nail salon today because the first book is on Kindle Unlimited and I'm already hooked. Like, it established the story like so quickly and now I'm like already hooked. So I already put the next two books on my stand on my bedside table, and I think I'm just going to marathon this because this was on my TBR anyway, and these books are not that long. Like, this one's like 449, but I don't know, I feel like these are not going to take that long. But if I don't decide to marathon this, I still really want to read the first book, and then I'm going to see where it leaves off. Then I probably will just go into the second book if it's like a cliffhanger. If it's not, I might not. I might like break it up a little bit and maybe like read one of them a week before the year is over. But as of right now, I really do want to go into that trilogy. But I just wanted to read like a quote or two from this book because the way that that Margaret's mother talks to her sometimes, and like some of the one-liners that Catherine Center writes are so fucking funny because there's so much like layering to these like one-liners and jokes that you think it's just like a throwaway line, but it's not. Like, she really makes you think about it after she writes them, and they're just so good. Hold on, let me see which one I want to talk about. I think I landed on it. So basically, her mother says, well, this is the narration. My mom leaned closer to me once the door closed and kept her voice low. And then her mother says, I read an article last night called Sexual Functioning After a Spinal Cord Injury. So she's literally talking to Margaret about Chip, like her fiance or her to-be fiance, because he was supposed to propose to her. And her mother is talking about if she's going to be able to have sex still after being paralyzed. So then Margaret says, Mom, don't read that. And then her mother says, because if Chip's enthusiasm is like her father's, or any man really, that's going to be important to him. I wrinkled my nose. Please don't talk to me about Jim Dunbar's enthusiasm. I've been best friends with Evelyn for years, sweetheart. I know everything. And Evelyn, I believe, is Chip's mother. And then Margaret says, I was shaking my head. No, please, no. And then the mother says, the great news is, she pushed on, even though men in your situation often lose sexual abilities, women typically don't, which means even if you don't walk again, which of course you will, you'll still be good to go in that arena. And then she says, or internally she says, was it worse to talk about Chip's father's sexual functioning with my mother or to talk about mine? Words cannot express how much I did not want to discuss that arena, but she had momentum now. She went on, you can have babies and everything, typically, in fact. And then that was it. That's all I took a picture of, but I can't with how fucking funny it was. But there's just like so many good lines that she writes. I love them. I could go on and on about her quotes, but yeah, I really did enjoy this, but I think we're going to end this here. So that's basically it. And then a romance develops between Margaret and Ian. And then just things go from there. And what I really love about Catherine Zender's characters is that they're not perfect, but not in like a super dramatic way, like the way that Abby Jimenez makes you care about her characters so deeply and so emotionally. And that's why I freaking love Abby Jimenez. Like, she's still my favorite romance author ever. But with Catherine Center, she does it so easily, but also she doesn't forget about the humor of some things, and some of it is a little dark,
But the way that she writes it, it's like she covers like some triggering things in this book, like depression and unaliving and all of that about Margaret after she's paralyzed, because she's like, basically after Chip is like being a piece of shit to her, she's like, I might as well give up. And Ian tries to push her to not give up. He's like, you still need to try. So it's all about that. And like, I'm just so happy that I finally read this. It was so good. I don't want to go on and on about it because this vlog is long enough. I'm gonna have to film an outro after I think I'm pretty sure I know which books I read in this video. I read, I have to go back to my November TBR in order to remember. I read The Silent Patient, Recipe for a Charmed Life, The Housemaid's Wedding, and then December I read Is She Really Going Out with Him, Listen for the Lie, That's Not My Name, Lights Out, and How to Walk Away. So we read 2 audiobooks, 1 short story, and 5 full-length books. So I would have to say my top 3 were definitely Is She Really Going Out with Him? I freaking loved that book by Sophie Cousins. That's Not My Name by Megan Calley. That was so freaking good. Was it Megan, or is it Megan Lally? Oh my god, I can never remember her freaking name. Megan Lally. Yes, I was right. Those were both 5 stars for me. And Listen for the Lie, freaking loved it. Gave that 5 stars as well. And then what else? I think I still liked this more than Recipe for a Charmed Life though, because I feel like her characters are just so real. And then after that was this book. And then number 5 was Recipe for a Charmed Life. Number 6 probably was The Silent Patient. And then 7 and 8 were, again, this is kind of just like a vague ranking. It's not really, probably Lights Out. Because even though I really did enjoy it, I didn't love it as much as I really liked the other books. That doesn't mean I didn't like it. Honestly, we did not read a bad book in this video. Minus The Housemaid's Wedding, but even that I didn't think was that bad because, again, it was just like a super short, stupid story that I was just here for because I was in the mood for that, and that's what I ended November with, and it was just so short and easy and fast. And it was kind of entertaining still, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's like enough of Millie being stupid already. Like, I just, like, kind of hate how much Rita McFadden has, like, character assassinated her at this point. So, yeah, honestly, I really couldn't pick a favorite in this video. All 3 of the books that I mentioned that were 5 stars, I really did love them. So, yeah, I read a lot of great books in this video. I read basically 2... This Catherine Center, I don't really qualify as... Wait, what would you call it? Not signify, I guess, as a, like, typical romance author. I think that she has a lot more, like, layering to her stories and everything. So I read 1 magical realism. I read, like, kind of 2 romances. I read 2 technically 3 thrillers. 4 thrillers, actually, because I listened to Listen for the Lie, That's Not My Name, The Silent Patient, and The Housemaid's Wedding. So I actually didn't realize how many thrillers I got in this month, because I wanted to read a couple more before the year was over. And 2 romances and 1 dark romance, actually. And I don't think we read any fantasy in this. Why am I forgetting what the other genre was? I guess that's it. Right? Yeah, whatever. I basically said them all, so that's it. So please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check my Poshmark at the same handle. I hope you guys enjoyed this mood reading video that literally only included maybe 3 books that I said was on the original TBR. But again, that's what a mood reading vlog is. I was just going to mood read and that was it. So I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know if you guys have read any of these or if you're interested in reading them. After I gave you my thoughts, let me know. And that's it. Bye.